Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast. I'm your host and beat writer, Brock Vieira. You can check out all of our work at www.si.com/NFL/Rams, where we drop double digit pieces of content every single day. Our latest series of works has been about what happened at the NFL owners meeting and what Sean McVay had to say. And one of the biggest things that came out of the owners meeting was that the Rams did, in fact, look to trade Davante Adams. As first reported by Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, I want to give him his deserved credit because he faced a lot of doubt for this report, even by myself. He was right. Adams did was mentioned in trade talks in a potential move for AJ Brown. Essentially, how it would have worked out is Adams leaves and Brown comes in. I don't know if that would have been a straight up trade or if they would have had to send Adams to one place and then bring in Brown via another move or how that would have worked out. But for a variety of reasons, it didn't, especially the fact that the Eagles realistically couldn't move on from Brown until after June 1st. And by that time, Adams' deal had reached a point where several guarantees kicked in for the 2026 season that made his deal unmovable, at least not in the way that the Rams needed. And thus, there's no move in play. For me, I've been a big proponent of AJ Brown joining the Rams for a long time, but every time I've spoken about it, it has been in the idea that it would be Adams, Brown, and Nakua, and if that wasn't able to work financially, then it simply wouldn't be able to work. Why the Rams decided to think that it was a smart decision to replace AJ Brown with Davante Adams, I will never know. Of course, you look at the on-field production and then the health, and then obviously AJ Brown is younger, and at some point, the Rams are going to need to look for a successor for Davante Adams. But we're also talking about a player who just led the NFL in touchdown reception and who virtually single-handedly fixed an issue that has been going on for multiple years, and that is the Rams' red zone efficiency or lack of it. There's a lot to praise about the Sean McVay offense and Sean McVay in general. Brilliant play caller, brilliant play designer, really understands defense at such a high level that if he had to, I truly believe McVay could be a defensive coordinator had he wanted to, go down that route. That's just how much he understands the game in totality, and it makes sense considering he grew up around football his entire life. His dad is his grandfather's a legend, and while his dad might not have been involved in professional football, obviously McVay has mentioned his dad as being a great leader, and that's done well for McVay over the course of his career. If you really want to look at his entire operation, there's only one moment. I do apologize for any background noise, but there is one kind of thing that unfortunately there's a Achilles heel in his operation, and that is one turning points into turnovers and touchdowns. But I see more of an isolated issue towards the current format instead of an overall issue. And then the second portion is he does not have the greatest success in short yardage situations that occurred during pivotal points in ball games. So many I can refer to. I just look at the NFC divisional game as like my number one example, even though there's so many you can go to throughout the entire season. The Rams don't have a power offense, and their passing game is great. But do you really want to throw the ball in the air on 3rd and 2 all the time? Because it could be a quick pass, unless you're letting Stafford drop back into the pocket, and even then, you're just letting the opposition's pass rushers just pin their ears back and tee off on your franchise quarterback. Davante Adams fixes a lot of those issues, especially the red zone efficiency issue. But that's not the reason why this would have been a bad decision. I wrote a column about it. You can check out on www.si.com/NFL/Rams/on SI. But had the Rams actually executed a move for Davante Adams, it would have been the biggest mistake in Sean McVay's illustrious career. Here's why. AJ Brown is a great receiver who demands the football as he should. I look at the way Brown approaches the game. I admire it. I love it, actually. What's a wide receiver one who doesn't demand the ball? A wide receiver two. And despite all the top receivers in the NFL, even on the Rams or some of the other top teams in the league, if there's one wide receiver that I would personally have to pick to go out and win a football game right here, right now, in the current NFL, it's AJ Brown. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the production, he has the film, he has the talent, he has the desire. Everything you want in a wide receiver, he has. To me, he's a legendary type of player who I think people are going to grow with appreciation as his career goes on. And I truly believe that when he steps away from football, we're going to be talking about AJ Brown like he's an all-time great because he operates like an all-time great. And what do all-time greats at the receiver position need? The football. But he'll never be the number one option on the Rams. Players like him are never. It's a position built for the slot receiver because the offense is built to exploit the mismatches created by slot receivers, not by guys on the outside. That's why, despite guys like Odell Beckham Jr., Adams, Robert Woods, whomever you want to put in there, Sammy Watkins, that 1 year, guys like Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua will always reign supreme in this offense. So you are just asking for a locker room issue or a media storm or something. Because Brown is going to demand the football because that's the type of player that he is. And it works if you have an offense that can get him the ball enough for him to be a productive, player. But for even though the Rams love to pass the ball, there's overt reliability on Nakua, and then when they aren't relying on him, they're relying on a constant change in personnel. It's not going to end well unless the Rams make a decision to overtly target Brown, but then that's going to lead to consequences for the entire unit. So lots of process with that for the on the field stuff. But my main point and the reason why I wanted to record this video is because of what the move would mean for the Rams' reputation. When Davante Adams made the move to come to Los Angeles, he had several options to go. For Adams, at this point in his career, there's two things that he wanted: stability for his family and the opportunity to chase championships. When he bought in on this vision to join the Rams, he did so knowing that he would have to move his entire family out to Los Angeles permanently. This is not just we have a summer home and we're going to chill out in Southern California. This is kids are going to school, pickup times need to be arranged. Now you talk about grocery trips. You talk about building a new network, a new community. You're talking about doing away with some of these other luxuries that Adams and his family might have had in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas, or Green Bay, or New York, or wherever he was staying, um, you know, or wherever his family was staying at the time. I'm not going to go into it because that's not my business, but this is life in the NFL, and that's why it's relevant. Davante Adams came to the Rams, and he had his whole family move out here with the belief that this is the place that he was going to retire at. That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what his agent has been saying. It's the whole rhetoric. And then he goes out, he outplays his contract, again, leads the NFL in touchdown reception. He does get hurt, but not to the point he couldn't play to end the regular season. Had the Rams needed him, he would have played in the regular season. But they kept him on ice for the playoffs, and it paid off. He was great in the playoffs. He made critical catches when you needed him to. He starred in the NFC Championship game. Incredible. And to get rid of him? A guy who is opening presser. When I was on the beat, at least the first presser I attended of Davante Adams, which was during OTAs. First thing he said was, "I love the Rams. I'm happy to be here. It's exactly the type of environment I want to play in. This feels like a college type of environment where everyone gets along with everybody. It's what an NFL team should look like." And then he goes and says that again throughout the season, and then in the postseason, and then on K Adams, right, on the K Adams show and on other shows, and to broadcast to millions of people, and then for the Rams to move him a year later, we're all gonna forget about this. Just like we all forgot about the failed move for Brian Burns, just like we forgot about a lot of other things. But if they moved Adams, every agent in America is going to be like, okay, well, I want more guaranteed money for my client since you clearly don't value long term loyalty or any type of loyalty. So I'm going to approach negotiations as if I'm operating on a year to year basis, even more so than what already exists in the NFL. So that means that to protect my client and my interests, I want more guaranteed money. I want more guaranteed money up front. I also want dates for guarantees to kick in to be much closer to the start of the season or as close to whatever it can be as possible. I want all this stuff because I know if I give you any leeway to get rid of my client, you are going to. And that's going to be a thing that prohibits the Rams from making any type of moves in free agency. And then I'm telling you, it's not something that I'm reporting. This is just an inference. Every member of the Rams for that 2023 class just got on their phone with their agent and it was like, as soon as the draft ends, get me my extension and get me it now. The reason is because they're all set to be free agents next year. So the Rams already have this, hey, we can do better than you attitude for Davante Adams. You think they're not going to have that for Colby Turner, for Byron Young, Warren McClendon, Steve Avila, Ethan Evans? What about the 24 class? They come up next offseason. And then you look at the entire organization. The Rams were willing to let Matthew Stafford walk out the door last season. And it took a last second meeting when Stafford actually played chicken and won for the Rams. Hey, whoa, let's talk about this, right? Then you do that for Davante Adams this year. What's it going to be next year? Is it going to be Puka Nacua this year, or are they going to wait until next year and try to franchise tag him and extend him on those during those negotiations? What about Jared Verse? Are they going to play around with him? Well, are they going to sign all the young guys, and what about the older guys? Quentin Lake, is he going to be out of here soon? Kyre Williams, who knows? We don't know anymore because no one expects a move like this. So now that you have essentially said as an organization, everybody can go right now, even though we just went to the NFC Championship game. The guy in question was everything we needed him to be and then some. He's not a distraction off the field. He's exactly what we need on the field. He's a perfect veteran replacement for Cooper Kupp and what they lost mentally in that wide receiver room. And we're going to send him away? I don't know. The NFL it's a business, but sometimes not every business practice meant to improve the team does so because there's so much that goes into it beyond just player value and player production. The Rams are champions. Sean McVay is a Super Bowl champion. The Snead is a Super Bowl champion. These guys know what they're doing. Doesn't mean that they're always going to hit it out of the park, and no one can ever bat 1,000. And to me, unless something comes out that I don't know, when I'm seeing the situation for the value that it is, for what I know about the organization, what I know about the locker room, being around all these guys last year, it's it's unfathomable that this was even a discussion. That's all I'm going to say about it. This has been Brock Vera for the Los Angeles Rams Insider Podcast. We'll catch y'all next time.